जहां तक काले धन का सवाल है, ब्लैक मनी का सवाल है, मेरे देशवासी, आपके इस प्रधान सेवक पे आप भरोसा कीजिए। मेरे लिए ये आर्टिकल ऑफ फेथ है। भारत के गरीब का पैसा जो बाहर गया है, वो पाई पाई वापस आनी चाहिए। ये मेरा कमिटमेंट है। रास्ते क्या हो, पद्धति क्या हो, उसके विषय में मतभिन्नता हो सकती है।
Barely 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi promised to the nation every penny of the black money stashed abroad will be brought back to India. He reiterated his commitment that bringing back black money from outside the country is an article of faith for him. Making it clear that there will be no letdown in his efforts to do so, Prime Minister acknowledged that there was no correct estimate about how much black money is kept illegally in foreign countries. The Prime Minister too had realized that bringing black money is an uphill task due to double taxation avoidance agreement India had with certain countries. It may be a difficult path for India, but with a strong resolve and a stronger intent, India has embarked on its journey to check the menace of black money. On the very first visit after his promise to the nation to bring back black money, Prime Minister Modi and his team strongly pitched for repatriation of the black money. Prime Minister asked every country, especially tax havens, to provide information for tax purposes in accordance with treaty obligations. As a victory for India, the leaders of 20 developing and developed countries endorsed the action plan to tackle base erosion and profit shifting, which would be finalized in 2015 to make sure companies pay their fair share of tax.
We have significantly the Prime Minister made a strong pitch for black money, and he said that is a very important part of that is because it is India is doing their level best to get it, but because of certain rigidities, certain structures of law, certain situations that exist because of treaties, past treaties made many years ago. But despite that, India has been able to get a very significant part of that, which mentions that we have added one sentence which mentions that including transparency. This is actually talking about the base erosion and profit sharing action plan to modernize international tax rules. This is something which is absolutely necessary because we have seen the tax haven in a very sophisticated form avoids and creates a possibility of evasion of tax. So now we have said that in 2015 there will be a work program finalized including transparency of taxpayer specific rulings found to constitute harmful tax practices.
As one bloc, the G20 leaders committed to put in place a mechanism for automatic exchange of tax information between member countries by 2017.
Twin pillars of this entire process. One is the base erosion and profit shifting, which is now popularly called as the BEPS, BEPS, this has been long studies which have been made on that. The other part is the automatic sharing of information, which is an extremely important initiative, which would mean that all the countries will have to maintain the accounts in a way and information in a way that can be automatically shared. There is no need to actually have some sort of a TT or something. This will happen as a result of that. Our Prime Minister also mentioned that it should be done in a way that will allow everybody, all the countries. So there should be a universalization of this automatic sharing of information. So transparency in this form will be very clear because when you have the automatic sharing of information, there is not really any hiding of information.
Tax evasion through offshore havens occurs on a huge scale. Individuals or corporate entities find it attractive to establish shell subsidiaries or move themselves to areas with reduced or nil taxation levels relative to typical international taxation. This creates a situation of tax competition among governments. Obviously, tax havens create possibility of erosion of tax. In a victory for India, the G20 endorsed Narendra Modi's pitch for repatriation of black money at its summit, echoing the government's line on the need for transparency and disclosure of tax information. It is expected that it will benefit around 2/3 of the world population. Collectively, the G20 economies account for around 85% of the GDP and 80% of the world trade. Arun Sharma and Ravi Dhiman's report for DD News in Brisbane.